Oswaldo came up huge and it got a little dicey, but the Yanks pulled off a series win over Cleveland. Let's talk about it on today's Locked On Yankees.
You are Locked On Yankees, your daily New York Yankees podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to Locked On Yankees, which is part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. And thank you for being with us every day. I'm your host, Stacey alongside my producer, Steve Granado. Steve, let's tell everyone what we're discussing on today's show.
Oh, we got your Twins series preview coming up later on in the show. We have our favorite recurring segment, Hot, Cold, and Heating Up. We'll talk about who is hot, who is cold, and who is heating up as we head into this new series. But the finale in Cleveland, Yanks got one out and had a little bit of everything in that day game out of Progressive Field. Of course, the big story, the big headline, clutch hit from Oswaldo Cabrera.
Yes, that was pleasantly surprising. It felt like another one of those games that was going to be the Yankees not quite doing enough on offense to win the game. And that was just, I was so excited when I saw that ball go in the air. I was kind of hoping it would go out, but it did just enough. It went just far enough for him to get the single, for Gleyber to score, and they hold on 4-3. And I love those kinds of wins where you're surprised by how it turns out, because it just seems like it's going to be a bad ending. And then it isn't a bad ending. It was a very good one. That was cool.
Yeah, and especially to do that against Emmanuel Clase, who is a very, very talented closer.
Yes.
Pitch kind of got left up, a little slider, 91, about knee high, down and in. Cabrera can really go down and get that, especially left-handed bat. Does a really good job of pulling his hands inside on a pitch like that. But yeah, I mean, that's a huge hit for Oswaldo, a guy who we've talked about on a number of occasions already about how he's still battling for playing time. And I think a hit like that is huge in being in his camp. Do you foresee in this 4-game set coming up here starting today that Oswaldo's going to get more playing time? He played 2 of 3 games in Cleveland.
I think so. Yeah. I wonder where, because, they had him start in the infield during this series against Cleveland. So it's going to be interesting to see what Boone decides to do with him during the 4-game series against the Twins. But I feel like you could see him in, if not all 4 games, at least 3 out of the 4.
Yeah. So on, Wednesday's game, he played second and right. In the game before that, he played short and second. Remember, he moved over to short late.
Yeah.
He played on the 9th against Baltimore and left. He played on the 8th and right. Then he played in left on the 7th. Like, he has played everything essentially so far, which we knew that was going to be the possibility. But I mean, he's mostly played in the outfield thus far.
Yeah, that was the joke during spring training, the fact that he had about 6 gloves that he would bring with him on road games during spring training, because they're basically having him play everywhere except catcher and pitcher, and he's doing great in every spot. There are plays that he makes in the outfield. For someone who didn't play the outfield before last year, it's amazing how easily he adapted to those positions, and he's really one of those guys who is the epitome of utility, but can be as good as a regular everyday player who plays one position, if that makes sense. Like, you can slot him in anywhere and he'll be fine. It's unbelievable how adaptable he is. He's incredible.
You use the word unbelievable. How about Franchy Cordero? How unbelievable has he been so far? Another big blast on Wednesday.
I mean, at this point, we shouldn't even be surprised, because it just keeps happening and it's so much fun. And, of course, he's the guy who tied up the game. Of course, it's Franchy Cordero. I mean, why wouldn't it be Franchy Cordero? That was great. And that was a shot. It wasn't like a cheapy home run. He hit the snot out of that ball. He's slugging 800 7 games into his Yankee career. It took him 86 games to hit 4 home runs for Boston in 2022, and it's only taken him 7 games to do that for the Yankees. So it's amazing. And the other players, Garrett Cole was they were interviewing him about his start on Tuesday, and he was glowing talking about Franchy Cordero and how he's come in and done what he's done. And, the rest of the guys the same way. They're just like, wow, look at this guy. He comes in and this is what he's doing. It's unbelievable. And it's starting to feel a little like Matt Carpenter. We mentioned it the other day, but it really is.
It really does. Yeah, it totally does. Other things to take away from Wednesday's win. How do you feel about this Aaron Boone ejection? He was ejected early. So it was a trap, right? The ball was trapped. And
right.
I'm always in the camp that get the call right. That's all I ever care about.
Right.
In this case, though, I don't know how you feel about it, but I think Aaron Boone has a right to be upset.
Yes, because Cleveland didn't challenge it. If you don't challenge it and you didn't see that it was a trap, oh, well, the umps got it wrong. Oops. Oh, well, I don't like that they decided, oh, well, even though the 15 seconds were up and they didn't challenge, we're going to, check it now. I don't think that's right of the umps to do that.
Well,
that
it's because they saw it. They saw it on the replay on the video board. And
that's the other thing.
That's why Boone's upset. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Boone because remember, there used to be an MLB rule in place that the field or the production crew, the in stadium production crew was not allowed to show replays on close plays immediately after the fact because they didn't want to influence how the umpires felt about it. That's gone now. And it's been that way for the last couple of seasons. And for this specific reason, right, is because they didn't want that to change the outcome of games. I don't know. I think fans have a right to see replays since we have those capabilities. I don't think I've ever seen this happen before where umpires legitimately see it and go, hold on a second, let's get it right.
Right. Yeah, it was weird. It was really weird. Boone had every right to be mad because they kind of circumvented the challenge rule. As I said, it's 15 seconds. If the team doesn't do it, then oh well. And they didn't do it. And just I don't think that's right. I don't.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but umpires do have the right to call a crew chief review still.
I believe so, but I just don't like the fact that they saw it on the screne and thought, oh wait, no, we have to do it. Like they weren't going to. Yeah.
Because it's not their call in that sense, right? Because I don't know. I'm in the camp that get it right. Like you just get the call right. That's all I ever really care about. Yeah, I don't care if it's good or bad for whoever you're rooting for. I just care about getting the call right.
Yes.
It's weird. It's such a weird. Again, I don't think I've ever seen it happen that way.
No. And this was and I couldn't believe this because I know Boone gets thrown out a lot, but this was the 27th time since he became Yankees manager that he's been ejected from a game. And that's a lot. That's a lot of times to be ejected from games. And, Boone has a heart condition and I get worried about him when he gets so upset, and I was a little worried about him. And he was even fired up in the post game on Wednesday. He even said it when the beat writers were asking him about it and he was explaining it. And he said, yeah, I'm getting heated up now, even talking about it. So, he needs to calm down a little bit.
Let us know in the comment section here on YouTube. How do you feel about this? Do you think Aaron Boone had a right to be upset? Do you think he was too upset? And do you think that MLB should reinstitute that rule where the stadiums can't show replays like that? Let us know in the comment section. We had a couple other takeaways. Stacey, Volpe leading off for the first time. How did you feel about that decision from Aaron Boone?
I thought it was interesting. And, he leads off with a double, which was great, but then, didn't score because his teammates didn't do anything behind him. But that was funny. I actually missed it because we had our weekly meeting and I saw it on Twitter and I said, wait, I have a game to watch. I got to go. And I cut out of the meeting and watched the game. But, he had the day off. Well, he didn't start and then right. He was put in. And I liked that they put him in the leadoff spot. I mean, I feel like that could be a good thing. Like once he gets going and once he starts hitting, because when he does, he makes things happen when he's on the bases, whether he's stealing a base or, moving people over when he gets the hit. And I feel like once he gets into a groove and gets used to playing in the majors, he's going to be one of those players that's like a spark plug, like I'm going to reference a long time ago, but Chuck Knobloch and Derek Jeter at the top of the order during, 98, 99, 2000, it felt like they were constantly on base. And I feel like Volpe can be that kind of dude in the leadoff spot. It'd be great if he could become that soon, but we'll give him some time.
Yeah, we'll see if that continues to happen here, if they keep him in this type of role in the leadoff spot. We'll see. Clarke Schmidt, 4 innings. How'd you feel about Clarke Schmidt? He ended up going 4, and it didn't implode.
Just kidding. Yeah, no, he didn't implode. And, he easily could have after what happened in the first inning. That really could have screwed him up even more. So, 4 innings, still not great. Better than 3 in the third. I would just like to see more length from him. That's all. Yeah. Maybe 5 the next time.
Like 70 something pitches, almost 80 pitches, somewhere around there. The bullpen, Ron Marinaccio, Michael King, Wandy Peralta, he ends up getting the win, and Clay Holmes, 5 scoreless innings. Your thoughts on the bullpen, not just in this game, but thus far, the right-handed heavy Yankees bullpen?
Yeah, they're looking better, and this was good that Clarke Schmidt started a game and the Yankees actually won it. It's the first time all season.
First time. Yeah. First time, 3 times in. Mentioned Clay Holmes there. We're going to talk about that in just a second. It looks like he's the closer. And we'll see how we feel about that. We'll talk about that when we come back here on Locked On Yankees.
For a championship team, it's all about making sure every player is a perfect fit. It's the same when it comes to your vehicle. Every part needs to fit just right. So the next time you need parts and accessories, head to eBay Motors. With eBay Guaranteed Fit, you can be sure every part you need fits right the first time around. Just add your ride to My Garage and look for the green check to know the part will fit or your money back. Because just like in sports, confidence is the name of the game when you shop on eBay Motors. And with over 122 million parts to choose from, you'll be back in the game in no time. After all, it's easy to bring home a win when the right parts are guaranteed. Get the right parts, the right fit, and the right prices on ebaymotors.com. Let's ride. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Back here on Locked On Yankees, Clay Holmes, Stacey. It looks like he is the closer officially. 4 of 5 save opportunities have been him. He had it last year. How do you feel about Clay Holmes being the Yankees closer?
I feel like right now it's his job to lose, I guess. He was the one that was called on the most last season, so it makes sense for him to be the closer. He has the experience now of being the closer. And, I felt a little better about him watching him close. Wednesday's outing was a little iffy because it was such a tight game, and it was a little, he was having some issues with his sinker, which he threw a lot in that inning. Yes. But he got it together, and, it could have gone really wrong for him. And, the second to last at bat, he walked Stephen Kwan on 5 pitches. And the sinker was giving him an issue, and he walked him on the sinker. He threw the sinker for 3 balls, and one of the balls was a slider. Then he comes back in the last. What?
Oh, I was just going to. I have the full inning if you want.
So, okay.
Josh Bell grounds out. Will Brennan hit by pitch. Miles Straw force out.
Yeah.
Oscar Gonzalez walks. Stephen Kwan walks, mound visit, and then he strikes out Rosario. So, I mean, it was a tough inning. That's for sure in the ninth.
Yeah, bases loaded, and he strikes out Rosario. I mean, that's in a 4-3 game. That's frightening.
Yeah. I mean, a 1-run ball game too. I mean, maybe it's just a bad night. He gutted it out. I've always been in the camp of, great pitchers are good even when they're not. And that's a good sign when you don't have your best stuff and you're still able to get the job done. That's huge. It's absolutely huge. We think about Garrett Cole the other day, right? Like kind of the same, a great pitcher is good even when he's not. So that's a good sign of life. Even though you look at the numbers and how things went, he still ultimately got the job done.
Yeah. Yeah. It was just interesting to see how he was so sinker heavy. And in that last at bat, they decided to go with the slider for the final 2 pitches and got Rosario swinging on both of those pitches. And it was like, yay. But yeah, it's, it's April. It's almost the middle of April. And, you're biting your fingernails watching Clay Holmes pitch in a 4-3 game. It felt like watching, I'm aging myself here, but it felt like a John Wetland save, like, oh, let's make it really interesting, up by 1 run, load the bases, and let's see what happens. And yeah.
Do you think?
Yeah, but he's that type of save person. He's that type of closer. Like I said a few weeks ago, you're not going to have a Mo again. Mo was a once in a lifetime type of closer that you're never going to see again. And this is the type of closer that the Yankees are going to have from now on, because not everyone can.
Do you think if Wandy Peralta wasn't the only left-handed reliever, he would be up for the closer role?
It's possible. Yeah, because he could do it.
Shutout baseball so far, only 2 hits allowed, 7 strikeouts, 2 walks in 5 games pitched. He's been great, but I think, like he's the only lefty, so you can't save him for the 9th. You need him to be more a lefty specialist, unfortunately. Yeah. But he's, I love Wandy. He went after Franchy's game-tying home run while he was doing his exercises in the bullpen, and that was fun to watch. How about Albert Abreu so far, by the way, too? 7 innings of shutout baseball.
Yeah. Because he's had those shutout innings, although he's looked a little iffy during those shutout innings. But he's becoming one of those guys that you can put him into a game when they're up by a lot and you don't have to worry about it, because that helped the other night when Cole pitched as long as he did. And then you put Abreu in for 2 and it worked out really well. So he's one of those guys that you can put into a game like that and not have to worry about, the Yankees being up by 9 runs and having him give up 5 to make it like an interesting kind of game. He can pitch well because, sometimes guys come out of the bullpen with a big lead and they kind of
let go.
Not that, they kind of, because there's no pressure there, but it felt like he was pitching well, even though the Yankees were up by so many runs. So, I'm liking that.
Here's a stupid stat, just because it's mid-April. Albert Abreu has thrown 7 innings. Domingo Germán has thrown 7 2/3 innings. Kind of incredible. Michael King and Abreu both lead relievers with 7 innings pitched so far. So, we'll see. We'll see. It seems like Clay Holmes is the guy. So, like it or not, right now it seems like there was no grandiose moment like, hey, Clay Holmes is the closer. Like I haven't seen any quote or anything out of it, right? Because we had a whole episode dedicated to that a couple of weeks ago during the end of spring training. We're like, who's going to close? And seems like we have our answer a couple of weeks later. Again, it was no big hoopla, but look who's been closing.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Let us know how you feel about Clay Holmes in the closer role. Do you think, like Stacey said, it's his job to lose, or is he going to hang on no matter what? We'll see. Let us know in the comment section here on YouTube. We're going to take our last break. When we come back, hot, cold, and heating up, and our pitching preview for this next series coming up with the Twins.
Do you know how much your subscriptions really cost? Most Americans think they spend around $80 a month on subscriptions, but the actual total is closer to $200. If you don't know exactly how much you're spending every month, you need Rocket Money. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that finds and cancels your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps you lower your bills all in one place. Now, I've actually been using Rocket Money for a few years, and I've had them cancel more than one subscription on my behalf. They also let you know if your bank balance is getting too low, and honestly, for someone like me who thinks they're on top of their money, it's a good thing to have. So stop throwing your money away, cancel unwanted subscriptions, and manage your expenses the easy way by going to rocketmoney.com/lockedonmlb. That's rocketmoney.com/lockedonmlb. And today's episode is also brought to you by Built Bar. If you're looking for a delicious snack, but you don't want all the sugar and calories, you need to try a Built Bar. If you're like me, you want to make healthier snack choices and you don't want to compromise on taste, well, you won't with a Built Bar. And what makes them so good? They're covered in 100% real dark chocolate, and they're unbelievable. They come in great flavors like churro, peanut butter brownie, cookies and cream. They maintain amazing macros, only 130 calories, 4 grams of sugar, and a whopping 17 grams of protein. And for years, we've been telling you to go to built.com to buy the bars, but now you can go to Walmart or Sam's Club. Head to your nearest Walmart, walk to the pharmacy section, and grab yourself a box of Built bars. You can pick up a 4-bar box of cookies and cream, double chocolate, or coconut puff. And if you're close to a Sam's Club, run in, grab a 13-bar box with their hit flavors, brownie batter, puff, churro puff, and you can thank me later.
New series starting tonight against the Minnesota Twins as they return home. Stacey, hot, cold, and heating up. Who is hot?
Well, we mentioned him earlier, but Franchy Cordero. I mean, he's really the only one right now at the moment who's really hot, you know.
Yeah,
like
scorching
surface of
hot.
the sun hot. Yeah, surface of the sun scorching hot.
Last 5 games, 9 RBIs and a 1,063 slugging percentage. Ridiculous right now. Stacey, who's cold?
Both catchers, Higgy and Trevino. I mean, what can you do? Higgy's 2 for his last 13. Trevino is 3 for his last 17. But out of those 5 hits between the two of them, 2 have been home runs. So
very strange.
Yes. Very, very strange.
Maybe silver lining, maybe?
Yeah. I think so.
Whatever. And Stacey, who's heating up?
Oswaldo Cabrera. We mentioned his big hit in the game against Cleveland, but he was 3 for 8 in the 2 games that he played against Cleveland. 2 runs batted in, 2 runs scored. He's our heating up guy.
Yeah. Save the big middle game where the Yankees offense exploded, in tight ball games. That's what you're looking for. You're looking for guys to come through clutch, and that's what Oswaldo did. So again, we'll see if that ends up generating more playing time for him. We'll see how many games he plays here against Minnesota. Game 1 here tonight, Thursday game, Johnny Brito on the mound. I know you're antsy. I think you're Johnny Brito's biggest fan right now.
I think right now I am. Yeah, I might be. I'm a Johnny Brito person.
Stan.
I like him. I'm a stan. I am.
He faces Joe Ryan. So the rotation here this week will be Brito, Nestor, Domingo, and then Garrett. I still like this Yankees rotation, save the Schmidt-Herman conundrum right now.
Yeah.
If you're throwing what has been one of the better starters in baseball so far, so weird to say that about Johnny Brito. Not that I'm would have put it past him, but he was good last year, but I didn't foresee this happening. Nestor's looked good. Garrett Cole's obviously looked great so far. So, when you're throwing 3 of those guys against the Twins right now, and the Twins have been playing good baseball, I like the Yankees' chances.
Plus, it's the Twins. Not to bring up, bad things for Twins fans, but the Yankees have owned them in the last 20 years, and the record that the Yankees have against them, playoffs and regular season, is actually ridiculous. It's kind of like the Astros against the Yankees in the playoffs. It's the same kind of disparity. So, this could be bad for the Twins. Let's hope Domingo. I'm just hoping Domingo Germán, even if he doesn't last 5-6 innings, hopefully the Yankees will get the win in his game for the first time, like Clarke Schmidt had on Wednesday. That would be a nice change of pace for Domingo Germán's start. And one more note about this. For Yankee fans, Joey Gallo is on the IL. So you don't have a chance to boo Joey Gallo if he comes to bat. Just letting you guys know, because I know some of you out there would want to do that if you're there in person.
8-4 to start the year for Minnesota after a 3-1 win over Chicago. I think the Twins are probably better than a lot of people think. And we will see Pablo Lopez in this series. And his last outing was great. Pablo Lopez
and it's him against
very legit.
It's him against Cole. That's a good, That's a really good
gonna be a
matchup,
great game.
actually.
Yeah, that's gonna be a great game. Yeah, so that'll be the finale on Sunday. Curious to see how that one goes. I mean, Pablo Lopez again last time out. I mean, what a weird trade.
Yeah.
Pablo Lopez for Luis Arias, like early on, and I figure this will be the case moving forward. Really help both teams. Luis Arias just hit for the cycle in Miami.
The first
ever
cycle for the Marlins. Yeah, it took them 30 years to get it done, and it finally happened. Amazing.
So crazy. See, it can happen. A trade can benefit both teams.
Yeah.
Proof right there. I really like Pablo Lopez. I'm very excited to watch him pitch against Garrett Cole. I think that's going to be a very underrated, maybe to the layman matchup. But for baseball fans, it's going to be a good one. Let us know. Do you think the Yankees will win the series against Minnesota? Again, they'll face Kenta Maeda, Tyler Mahle, and Joe Ryan as well in this series. So it's slated to be a pretty good set. Again, Minnesota is playing very well to start the year. Yeah, let us know. Let us know in the comment section your series predictions. We'll talk a little bit more about it on Friday and, of course, recap what happened in Thursday night's game. I want to thank you for making us your first listen. For your second, check out Locked On Fantasy Baseball Win Your League by listening to Matt and Dom every day as they bring you the best fantasy strategies. Locked On Fantasy Baseball is everywhere, including YouTube, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. I am Steve Granado.
And I'm Stacey Gatsoulias, and we'll see you tomorrow.